You know that feeling, right? When you're just stuck waiting for something for what feels like forever? Maybe it's the next episode of Action Common. Man, that wait can be torture. But what if you were waiting for something way, way more important? Like your freedom. Today, we're going to dive into a case that totally flipped the script on what it means to wait for justice in India.
Whoa, okay, just read these words. This is straight from the actual case files. It talks about a sorrowful picture, but look at this part. Women, children were locked behind the bars. All of a sudden, complaining about a TV show feels kind of silly, doesn't it? This was real. This was serious. This was what was really happening inside the jails of Bihar.
So what was going on? I mean, why were so many people, even kids, stuck in these awful places they were calling jails of despair? Let's get right into the heart of the problem, because the reality is pretty staggering. 10+ years. Just let that number sink in. People were locked up for over a decade for like minor stuff. But here's the part that is just unbelievable. They were in jail waiting for their trial for longer than the maximum sentence they would have gotten even if they were found guilty. Can you even imagine that? Just stuck, trapped in a legal limbo. And for many, it was all because they were too poor to get help. A situation this unfair. I mean, someone had to do something, right? Did anyone even try to help them? It was pretty clear these prisoners needed some kind of super-duper legal rescue mission to have any hope at all.
Well, the hero of this story wasn't a person in a cape. It was a really powerful legal tool called a writ of habeas corpus. Basically, it's a formal demand you make to a court that says, hey, bring this prisoner here right now. The whole point is for a judge to look at the person and decide, is it even legal for you to be holding them? It literally means produce the body, and it's one of the most important safeguards for personal liberty out there. So, a lawyer used this powerful tool, filing a petition for just 17 prisoners at first. But that one small action, it showed everyone that this wasn't just about those 17 people. It was a huge, huge problem. It was kind of like pulling on one little thread, and then the entire system started to unravel.
All right, so to fix a problem this big, the Supreme Court had to go to the biggest rulebook of them all, the Constitution of India. The entire case came down to how they interpreted two super important rules about what's fair and what's just.
The first big rule was Article 21, the right to life and personal liberty. Now, the really key phrase here is procedure established by law. The court's job was to ask, if a legal procedure takes 10 years, is that actually a fair procedure? See, it's not enough to just have a process. That process has to be fair, just, and reasonable.
And building right on top of that, you've got Article 39A. This one's a directive principle, which basically tells the government what its goals should be. And one of those goals, a big one, is to provide free legal aid. And why? To make absolutely sure that nobody is denied justice just because they don't have money.
Wait. So let me get this straight. It all boils down to two really big questions, right? First, is a super slow trial a fair trial? And second, does the government have to give a lawyer to poor people for free?
Exactly. And you know what? The Supreme Court came back with a big, loud, clear answer to both of those questions. And let me tell you, this ruling was a total game changer for Indian law. Let's break down exactly what they said.
Okay, listen up, because this is the good part. Step 1, a court said a speedy trial is a fundamental right. It's not just a nice idea, it's part of your right to liberty under Article 21. A trial that takes forever is not a fair procedure. Got it? Good. Step 2, free legal aid is essential. You can't have a fair fight in court if one side can't even afford a lawyer, so the state has to provide one. Step 3, no more excuses. The government can't just say, oh, we're too broke or our paperwork is a mess. Nope, these are fundamental rights. And step 4, the best part, immediate release. Woo! The court ordered that anyone who'd already been in jail longer than their maximum possible sentence had to be let go. Right then, immediately. This wasn't just about freeing those specific prisoners, though. This decision sent a shockwave through the entire system. It changed the whole game for justice in India. And maybe the biggest impact of all was that it really kicked off something called public interest litigation, or PIL in India. It inspired a whole new wave of activism. Lawyers could now go to court not just for one person, but to fight for entire groups of people who couldn't fight for themselves. It opened up a whole new pathway to justice. All right, let's do a quick recap. A small petition about a few prisoners in Bihar, it blew the lid off a giant, nationwide problem.
The Supreme Court stepped in and declared, 1, you have a right to a speedy trial, and 2, you have a right to free legal aid. And this whole thing paved the way for public interest litigation in India. Simple enough, right? Okay, for all you students out there, here are the 3 things you absolutely have to remember for your exams. Point 1, Hussainara Khatoon equals speedy trial as a fundamental right under Article 21. Point 2, this case made free legal aid a constitutional must-do, not a maybe. And point 3, it is a foundational landmark case for public interest litigation, or PIL.